MC Serch is the original Eminem.
Nah.
MC Serch paved the way for Eminem.
I wouldn't say it.
Can I pave the way, bro?
Yeah, I don't
he's
like,
MC
I don't
Serch.
like, yeah, I think Eminem is Eminem.
Yeah, but I think you paved the way for him.
But I don't think
would that
saying
be
the original Eminem
Yeah,
is like,
it's almost like saying he's the fake one.
I think Eminem paid his own dues. Like,
facts.
The fact of the matter is I'm fortunate enough that I spent 7 years in Detroit. I was the first non-African American to ever host the most legendary urban station in the history of the country, WJLB. And I had the #1 show there. And I saw what he did. I saw how he had a battle at the lounge. Like, I met with, those dudes. I knew the Cardi Boys. Shout out to the Cardi Boys, Low Lewis, Killer Gans. Shout out to all of y'all. Detroit, stand up. What up, though? So all of those dudes. I met all the dudes that battled them. I met Low Lewis. I met the guys who lost to him. Trust me when I tell you that earned every stripe he had.
Facts.
Every stripe.
And
every
everyone
stripe.
that I speak to from the D, they were like, listen, I ain't want no problems with him.
No. And he sat with his head, he sat with his hoodie low, and when he would go. And that's, and Proof was, rest in peace, Proof.
Rest in peace.
Those guys, and also Trick. So many family, Goon Squad, shout out to Goon Squad.
Salute,
like all of my, Royce, I see you, all of those people. Like those, it was nothing but love for me in Detroit. Like I would go there and hang out with Dilla in the 90s beat shopping. Rest in peace, Mama Yancey, shout out to Dilla, rest in peace. So it was natural for me in 2003 to want to go and do radio in Detroit. It was just, I saw, I was one of these people, I don't know if you like this, but when I told my mother that I wasn't going to take a 4-year free ride to the St. Louis School of Music at George Washington University in St. Louis to be an MC, to rap, my mother said, what do you mean, you're going to rap gifts at 2 guys? Like, what's this rap thing? Like, what do you mean rap? I said, no, there's this whole culture and it's DJing and breakdancing and there's this MCing and then rap. She goes, well, so what's your plan? I said, I just told you my plan. Be a rapper. She said, no. If you're going to give away 4 years of a free ride to college, I need to know what your plan is. Right. And I had to sign my letter of intent on that Monday, and it's Friday. So I made a plan. Like I literally wrote, okay, I got to find a producer. Made a plan. And I stuck to that plan, and I gave myself 3.5 years and 3 years.
You showed her the plan.
Oh yeah. So Monday morning, I showed her the plan, and because I lived in Far Rockaway, it was from Far Rockaway to 135th Street. It was 2 hours and 22 minutes on the train every morning, and 2 hours and 24 minutes back. So
A train.
Yeah. Yep. So where is it?
There it is.
Right there.
Yeah.
So I would have to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 to catch the 6:02. That was the absolute latest train. That would get me to the city by 8:22, and my first class was at like 8:25. So to run up St. Nicholas, all them steps, 452 steps.
God,
to get
you
to.
You counted these steps.
4 years, bro. 4 years up and down. 4 years up and down. Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that was the last train. Yeah. So my mother's woke up. I wrote down the whole plan, and she goes, "Okay, I'll tell you what. This is a great plan. Done." She goes, "However, here's what's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, you go back to school and you get out of my house, or you get a job and you get out of my house, or you go back to school and get a job and get out of my house. But either way, you get out of my house." So I said, fine, because as a Jewish mother, like college, I might as well, have hit the lottery.
Right.
And 3 years I made it. So my mother gave me 2 letters. When I signed my deal to Def Jam, she gave me 2 letters. The first letter said how proud she was of me, and that I wouldn't really understand what I accomplished until I had children of my own. And that getting to sign the Def Jam was not the end goal, it was the starting line.
Facts.
That all the work that I had put in, all the 3 years to get there is the starting line. And that she was super proud of me and she loved me and all that. And the second one was a bill, rent, insurance, clothing, studio time. Facto.
She want to recoup. She want to recoup.
Bro,
You go in the recording industry, I need to recoup all that bread I raised you off of.
$17,963.43.
And damn.
So I said, Mom, Mom.
Mama.
I love you. And thank you for the letters.
Yeah.
But I only got $15,000 in advance. I'll give you $5,000 towards that bill.
Right.
But I'll give you the rest through my ASCAP royalties. And she said, well, what? What's ASCAP? I said, oh, every time my record plays on the radio,
Right.
you'll get a check. So she was thrilled. So she'd call me and go, Michael, do you know your record played in Israel? You made 78 cents in Israel and in Germany?
Oh, shit.
Michael, let me ask you a question. Why is it that when your record plays on BLS and KISS, you only make 42 cents, but when it plays on Z100, you make $1.15? That doesn't seem fair to me.
Right. So she was.
She's
So
on it.
she just, so 1996.
So now I get where this whole thing, where it comes from. Your mom's
well,
very
my
thorough.
father, father, and my father was on Wall Street.
Yeah.
So my father played.
Oh, hell.
He played
Yeah,
D1.
that is.
Well, two things. My father played.
Cheated.
He played D1 basketball.
Right.
So he played D1 basketball at Alabama, and he played D1 basketball at SUNY, at SUNY Binghamton. Excuse me. And he was on Wall Street. So my father, either we played hoops, or he would call me in his office and say, Michael, come here. My mother and father's love languages as two Jewish parents was yelling at each other. Didn't matter what they said. Michael, come here.
Yeah.
Ross, what? I love you, but I'm waiting for dinner. I'm starving. Shut up. I'm making dinner. I love you too. That was their love language. Michael, come here. All right. What is it, Dad?
Wow.
Look.
I think I know where you get it from, Jim.
Yeah. Look. Do you see what I did here? Do you see what I did here on the market?
Right.
What are you talking about? Look what I sold. What am I looking at? Look what I sold. What? 3,500 shares. I sold it, but I bought it this morning at this. So I made $152. Today, that's what I made. So I learned the market from my father. How to you buy low, you sell high.
Right.
One of my favorite stories, my mother, she was beefing about the refrigerator. I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. Beefing. Refrigerator's broken, hates the refrigerator. Fine. How much is the refrigerator? $500. Fine, give me the money. Right? Because my father, no credit cards, $500. Goes to the market. He had a seat on Wall Street, Barron Corporation. Goes to the market, comes back, brand new refrigerator and $500 in his hand. Why? Because he bought and sold enough with the money to buy a new refrigerator and make another $500 profit.
Awesome.
Fire.
So, learning the market and playing ball and watching Alabama football, roll tide roll, was all I did my entire life with my parents. So the bill, 1996, I get a letter, paid in full. All the ASCAP royalties paid in full. So now that goes to a trust to my kids.
Where did you start learning ASCAP? I know artists today who avoid that entire conversation.
Oh,
like
no.
the plague.
Well, first of all, I was fortunate that my mother and father were my business managers. So they were definitely
cheat code.
They were
I told you.
they were on it.
You're gonna pay my son.
So while my mother and father didn't understand what ASCAP or BMI was, they understood how the royalties worked. And I, because I heard all the horror stories from Chuck D and Jam Master Jay, may he rest in peace, and everybody else, like I wasn't gonna be that guy.
Right.
I was gonna break the mold.
Did you know when you signed your contract about all that stuff?
No, because if I knew all that stuff, I never would have signed a Def Jam.
It's Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.